Alright, I'm back with another Destiny 2 video. I'm actually not going to be complaining about things today. I want to do what I do pretty much at least once a season here, where I go through some of my favorite weapons that I've been using. This is a little different than my God Roll guides, because I mean, it's mostly new weapons, but it can also be like what I've gone back to using if something is newly relevant. So I just thought I'd do kind of a brief rundown of some of my favorites. It's not like an exhaustive list or anything. And I'm not going through like my exact build on every character. I've done like kind of separate. I've done Titan builds and Warlock builds before, but we will just get in here and see what I've been using. Pretty much what is on my Warlock right now. It's been my main loadout for most things, especially I'm doing a lot of dungeon farming now. So this has been kind of my main thing for dealing with bosses and mini bosses, incinerators, and mobs. So start with Riptide. This is the new rapid fire linear fusion rifle, not linear, normal fusion rifle that has been added as a drop. I got a ton of these during Iron Banner. The drop rates on these playlist weapons are all over the place. It can take you like 5 strikes to get one of those new bows from the Vanguard playlist, but I was getting like 2 Riptides a game during Iron Banner, so I don't know what's going on there. This is the first rapid fire in this slot, and it is stasis, and it can roll Vorpal weapon. So I have been using that. Like this one-shots the Galrain Nightmares in that segment, and is just good for kind of bonus backup boss damage. As you recall, they buffed rapid fire fusion damage on bosses. They nerfed it a little bit later, and we don't have the crazy mod that we had with the Cartesian coordinate era. And yet this is still very good. My alternative to this is using one of these, a slug shotgun in this slot, which is fine. But I very much enjoyed this thing. I also, before anyone says anything, I do have one with chill clip laying around here somewhere. That is better for mobs. It does a little less damage than Vorpal. I've tested it on like bosses and mini bosses, so I've been using this one for like the boss segments. But the chill clip one is certainly good as well. This is another. So this is the adaptive fusion from Trials. This is the brand new one. And I haven't really found a use for it yet as much. I did get chill clip on it. As I said on Twitter earlier, chill clip does not trigger stats for all when you just hit people with the slow, so that's kind of a bummer. I think there's probably some good PvP roles for this, but between Deliverance, the Raid Fusion, and this, I think this is like in third place in terms of being relevant. This is New Purpose. I'm not, like high impact pulses are not like the most meta thing at the moment, maybe in Crucible a little bit. But this was a pretty fun roll I got with Desperado. Like this is one of the new things that can roll Desperado. And it has Bitter Spite, which is the origin trait that lets you reload when you take damage, which can be very convenient, especially with getting your reloads back when Desperado is there. And then Well-Rounded is on a lot of things now where you're always spamming abilities, so this is really granting you a lot of stability handling and range every time you do that, and then some range perks on this. I was using Osteostriga a lot during my old Starfire Protocol build because the poison triggers the regen on that. Have put that down for now in favor of this other kind of setup here, but still, obviously, I think this is one of the best weapons in the game. I have my auto-loading chill clip Lingering Dread. I had this in this slot. I use that in Nightmare Containment sometimes, and then I pair it with my chill clip Palmyra, which this hitting a boss will completely freeze the boss solid, like one of the Nightmare Containment bosses, which is pretty fun. It is a little bit of a bummer that the chill clip radius, and it's not really great on a one-off grenade launcher. I do have this version, which is also blinding, so blinding plus slow on grenade hit is pretty good, but that doesn't have auto-loading. Steady hands is pretty good though too. Steady hands on kill or just, yeah, it's kill, so you have to get a kill on it, so I don't know. Okay. This, you know what this is, Callous Mini Tool, the MVP weapon of the season because of Enhanced Incandescent. Like, this is already just a good mob clearing machine gun at baseline. Add Incandescent to it, and it becomes just an absurd mob clearing device on any class, but especially Warlock. This is why I have Dawn Chorus on for more burn damage there. One of the craziest kind of legendary setups I've ever seen, just because of it, it mob clears like Risk Runner or Trinity Ghoul or things like that. Like that is how much kind of burn you're spreading around with all the different multipliers you can have with Radiant and like different things like that. I've gone through this gun builds for this before, and I have a hard time kind of not just passing this around between my three classes, like some variant of this setup, because this is just so good, and it's just very hard to want to use anything else right now. I have my Crafted Beloved. This was the first thing I ever got all 5 frames for. I'm just not a huge sniper person, so I'm stuck at low levels here. I'm not using it that often, and I don't have any good perks on it yet. I did get a number of the new Sidearm, not Adept obviously, because I'm bad, but I got 2 different Demolitionist Adrenaline Junkie rolls. This one also has range and for Magwell, handling. I don't know what the exact best thing is, but I also love this because when you're running solo, you get so many boosts from this, which I think is a really great trait. And obviously anything with Demo Adrenaline is going to be good. It's a 2 burst, which I really love. The problem is that it's in this slot, and I want to be using either this or eventually a Drang with Incandescent. It's hard to want to use anything else. This is Arc, so next season when Arc 3.0 hits, and we want to use all Arc weapons probably, this might be a lot more relevant then, but until then, I'll have it, safely stored here. This is Storm Chaser. I wrote a whole article about how absurdly overpowered this gun is. This is the brand new archetype, 3-round burst aggressive frame, linear fusion. Slap Vorpal on this thing, or firing line if you have a team. Easily the highest DPS in the game outside of doing some crazy triple tap, 4-time the charm thing on either the Trials linear fusion or the Raid one, Cataclysmic. But this is just dramatically outclasses most other things. Rangefinder is not the best secondary perk here. I'm still looking for something better there, Rapid Hit or something. But stability, Fluted Barrel, this thing is a monster. It's how you one-phase Cadle. You can kill Cadle in like 2 bells, 1 bell even sometimes. Like it's that crazy. I believe this is heading for a nerf. Honestly, it's so strong. I believe that's where it's going. I'm not calling for that. I just would be surprised if it lasted into next season doing what it's doing right now. It's nuts. I took Xenophage out once it got rebuffed. Have not really used it, honestly. I was using this Freezy Sword for a while, but not so much now. Just using Storm Chaser for most things. When I do need a rocket launcher, I'm still usually using Palmyra. This is one of my highest weapon levels of a crafted weapon. And then Chain of Command is the new ritual, which rituals are so boring now. Like, Demo Adrenaline Junkie is less cool on a machine gun. I mean, it's fine, but adaptive munitions on this is interesting. I could see this being, good for select Nightfall content or like Master Lost Sectors or something because of that. Osmosis 2. There's actually a way to make this kinetic, which is kind of funny. I'm not sure what that's good for, but I've seen people do that with Osmosis. So that's unique. It's just, I don't know. I don't think it's that impressive, to be honest. So that is all for my Warlock. And like, these aren't specific to these classes. I'm always kind of jumping around between them. What is on my Titan right now? I'm using this in Crucible, so I double enhance this. I don't know. I was enjoying this in Trials. I love two burst sidearms, so this was doing some pretty good work there. I have a bunch of these Riptides I've saved. Feeding Frenzy Successful Warm-Up seems like a pretty good combo, given that it's just about killing things really quickly, and then that will build up Feeding Frenzy. This is the Stats for All Successful Warm-Up, Burden of Guilt I Masterworked, which is fun, because again, Stats for All and Successful Warm-Up seem like they would be kind of good to pair together. I do have an Austringer that is almost level 20. This is PvE Austringer. Outlaw Rampage just extends the timers on both, just mostly for style points. I probably should craft a rangefinder. I don't even know what the Eye of the Storm, whatever the cool PvP build is. I'm just not a big hand cannon PvP person, so I didn't really prioritize that. If I do want that, I have to build one completely from scratch again, which is not ideal. I got a Perpetual Motion Desperado one. That might even be better than the other one I had. Without Remorse, I do have the frame for this. This is the last frame I got, but I don't have it on me right now. I have a couple of these Unforgivens. This isn't the good one. I'll talk about the good one in a minute. I did get the Trespasser Tunnel Vision Catalyst. I was using this in Iron Banner a lot. I racked up a lot of kills on that. It's fine. I do love sidearms. I just like the 2-burst legendary ones a little better, or things like Drang, whereas this, I don't know. I can see myself putting this down and not really bringing it out again until maybe Arc 3.0 if there's some benefit there. I was using this in Crucible a good amount. You can also use this a good amount, 32 kills. It's also, solar, so you can use that in conjunction with other things this season. Falling Guillotine, I brought out of hibernation for things like the Galrain segment of the dungeon, because swords are good. You can use it in the second encounter too. Still, I don't have that many Unsunset, Relentless, Whirlwind things, so this remains one of my better ones. So I've been using that. This remains one of my favorite machine guns. Even with the buffs, it's still hard to devote your heavy slot to machine guns. There's just, if you need to mob clear, you're using your, incandescent Mita. I do not yet have a frame for Bump in the Night. I do want a autoloading Vorpal or autoloading chill clip version of that. The problem there is no tracking. I guess you can get tracking module plus one of those, but autoloading is too hard to pass up on those rocket launchers, but it does really big damage, and I really like it. It can't roll Impulse Amplifier, which is a bummer because I enjoy that on rockets, but and that I think is it for this guy. We will go to Hunter. And this was my Trials loadout, at least part of the time. Peace of Mind is great, of course. And then I have my carryover raid things from last season, but Blood from Gold Chill Clip Riptide. So you get to, with increased magazine size, you get to 8 in the magazine. I think 5 of those end up being Chill Clip. So this is a kind of very good version of this. Arrowhead Break on that for recoil. When I'm not using the Vorpal version, I'm using that. Tears of Contrition. This is one of the, I think this is the first Haunted frame I got. Enhanced Triple Tap, Enhanced Explosive. This thing feels really good. I know Scouts are still like not the most meta, but we do have Scout anti-something mods, anti-overload, I think, this season. So I do enjoy this thing. I don't bust it out all the time. I still think it's not like the most relevant weapon type right now, but this feels really good. All of these Haunted weapons to me feel really good. I don't have an AR on here, but the AR, despite being a lower RPM, has just the sound design and the scope design of that weapon feel fantastic. I'm looking forward to crafting that. The rolls are kind of weird. The rolls aren't even very good, but like it just feels very, very good to fire. It's like Scavelock plus bonus magic they've added in there. Snorri was ripping since last season. I don't think this is the Xur version. I had my own version of this before Xur sold it the other day. I also have, no, this is my first one, the first Honda one. Hollow Denial. So this is very situational with Repulsor Brace, which requires you to really be on Void for the most part. Not always, but there's one exception to that I'll get to in a minute. And then Adaptive for Shield Disintegration. It's fine. I don't know if it's as... I mean, if this was last season, I feel like I'd be using it more with Void everything, but not so much this season. Sunshot seemed like it was going to be a really good pick for the season, except it doesn't spread Scorch or anything like that, so I have not really been using this. I spent all my spoils to get Teraba, which I've been lacking for years now. It took me, ever since VOW came out, I've been farming 1 chests every week to get spoils, and I finally got enough for it. It's a cool gun. I like it. I was using it in the dungeon a bit. It does need a catalyst, I'll say that. Just crafted the shotgun. Going to get incandescent on it, I think. But incandescent on a shotgun is not as good as incandescent on a primary. So we'll see. This is Unforgiven. So this can roll Repulsor Brace on a primary. This is like a really underrated perk. Again, I think it's getting overlooked because we're not in a Void season. Defeating a Void debuff target grants an Overshield. This can be any debuff, like suppression, the little thing that attaches people for volatile rounds, like stuff like that. And when you defeat them, you'll get an Overshield, and then there are obviously fragments and stuff that pair with having an Overshield that will give you more, I forget, melee damage or something. There's a whole bunch. So there's also little tricks you can do. Like you don't have to use Void subclass if you were doing this with Fellwinter's Helmet on Warlock. Fellwinter's Helmet, you'll remember, was changed to give I think it's I don't know what they call it now, a blinding effect or something on powered melee kill and then an AoE. So, but if you do that and then you kill the affected enemies, that counts as a Void debuff even if you are on Solar Arc subclass. So that is a cool use of that. If I wasn't doing the Dawn Chorus build, I would probably be doing that, but that's just an interesting way to do that. And obviously this pairs really well with Void. In terms of being an overall SMG, I still think the one from last season is better, whatever it's called, the snake one that's not Recluse, you know what I'm talking about. That one is better overall, but this is still pretty good. Another Storm Chaser, I have the exact same role, Vorpal Rangefinder, so I have 2 of those. I just didn't masterwork this one. 4-time box breathing, Cataclysm box breathing is not good, but it's the best I've got. I do not have bait and switch. And then Gjallarhorn's just sticking around. It's always somewhat relevant, and this is just my fun quick fang. I'm using a Nightmare Containments because it's fun. And those are kind of my major picks here. I think I need 3 more Haunted Frames. And then obviously I don't have any of the, we're never going to craft these. Like, I have 1 fixed odds and 1 Epicurean, I think, so far that I've kept, and this can roll Repulsor Raise too. But we're never going to be able to craft these because the drop rates on the red frames are so low combined with the drop rates on these actual weapons. It's insane. So not too concerned with those. If I can get an incandescent fixed odds, that would be pretty cool. But again, MGs are still struggling to justify their existence. So those are some of my favorites in terms of the newer weapons, and a couple old ones I've gone back to, but mostly using a lot of the newer stuff, especially in PvE. My remaining, quote, projects want to get the Haunted Glaive, get that upgraded, Haunted AR, and I want an Incandescent Drang that it's pretty much going to do the exact same thing as Mita, except I just don't want to always pass Mita around, so I'll put Drang on maybe my Hunter or something for PvE. So anyway, those are my picks and my favorites. Let me know if you think I should try something else in the comments, anything I'm missing. I can update this once I get Heartshadow to see if that's any good, but has not happened yet. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later. Take care.